it was the biggest game when it came out. Like I never seen a game before that takes that long to beat. Like, I put I don't know, I must have put anywhere between 3 and 8 months into this game.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I just remember it was like you come home from school and you play, and I played it with my neighbors a lot of times. We would work on the game, and I'd be calling up friends to see if they knew tips on how to get through certain parts, or you get stuck in the game and you're looking for some kind of a clue in a magazine, whatever, and just being so invested in that game. It had such a big story, and there's so many characters, and you name them and you build up all their skills and everything. And I was at the end of the game. I was in Kefka's tower, and I was like, this is it. I'm going to beat the game. And then for whatever reason, the game just glitched out. It did this weird kind of the colors just changed, and it kind of froze. And it was just this really weird, glitchy spectacle. I'm like, okay, that was weird. So I just had to hit, reset or, power it off and back on because it was not working. And then the intro to the game started up, when there's nothing there, and I'm like, uh-oh, this doesn't look good. And I waited through that intro hoping my save files were going to be there, and no, it was just gone. It was erased.
Oh, no.
And I was like that was the first time something like that happened to me, and I'm like, why did it wait? Why did the game wait till I was at the end? And how did it happen? What was wrong with that cartridge? What could have caused that? But, I'm probably 15 or something. I'm so pissed. I'm just flipping out. My reaction was, what I did to just relieve that stress was to just run out into the woods and just I grabbed a fallen tree branch or something and was just hitting trees and just screaming and just getting all my rage out.
That seems like a normal thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're leveling up out there.
Yeah. So that was how I took care of it. But man, it's just those things just make you ask, why did that happen? What was the technical reason why that thing?
I mean, a lot of those carts had extra batteries in them and different files, because the Super Nintendo, they kind of put more tech into the cartridge, so maybe something got fried. I mean,
battery or whatever.
I know Chrono Trigger had a similar problem. I had a friend that had something like that happen. Yeah. And then Final Fantasy 3 or 6 or whatever is definitely my favorite. So
I've never played that one.
That's a shame.
I've only played 7 and 8. That's it.
Oh yeah, 3 is on. Well, 6. It's on.
It's technically 6. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, who would have known that back then? I mean, it's on the Super Nintendo Mini, and I think it's also on the Switch. I think.
Okay.
And so is Chrono Trigger, so that's good.
Is Chrono Trigger on the Switch?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I think so.
Is it on the Mini?
I don't think it is.
I forget where
I don't think it is.
I know Earthbound is.
Chrono Trigger is great. That is a really good one too.
Yeah, I love the PlayStation versions of those with the cutscenes and stuff. And then the 3DS version was really good too.
Also, the art by Akira Toriyama of Dragon Ball and everything. He did all the Chrono Trigger art.
Yeah, wow. Dragon Warrior and
What made Chrono Trigger there's one little detail that made that game so much more advanced than Final Fantasy 3 was that you could walk in a circle. Before, it was you couldn't go diagonal. It was just up and down, left and right. Mm-hmm. But Chrono Trigger, it had this smooth control. Oh, and you know what else I liked about it? Was when you get more characters, you can see them following you instead of it just being they all
go
combine
inside,
into one. Yeah, I always thought that was weird. And, the fight scenes were better. The only thing that Final Fantasy 3 had probably the best music of almost any game.
Mm-hmm. The first the Snowfield theme or whatever is really good.
Yeah.
But I remember back when I had a PlayStation, because a lot of those you kind of take it for granted, but a lot of Sega games and from NES to SNES, you could save it right on there. Mm-hmm. The PlayStation era, where memory cards and all that stuff started coming up because everything was on an optical disc. You couldn't save it on there, and the systems didn't come with inbuilt memory.
That was a phase that I still can't even get used to, because sometimes if I play an old PlayStation game and it's insert memory card, I'm like, what? But I'm since when did games need memory cards? When did that all happen? Because I kind of, at that time, I wasn't really I saved up for Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, I wish that I got PlayStation, but whatever. Now games they just save even when you're not doing anything.
Oh yeah, I mean everything's on the cloud too. I can put all my saves from my PlayStation 4 onto the cloud and then download them to another PlayStation 4 at any time. It's like, it's really, and then I can pick up, what I was playing at home and pick it up here if I need to at the office or whatever. And it's no big deal.
Like I didn't have an N64 in that era. I didn't have a lot of friends in middle school. I believe I told my mom my computer was my only friend. Yeah. Like a Macintosh Performa.
I was the same way. I had a PlayStation because of that. There's a lot more single player games.
Yeah. So I was glad about that because I love playing the single player, like from Metal Gear, Resident Evil, and all that. But I didn't have a memory card. For some reason, my family wouldn't get them for me, so I would just rent games, try and beat them straight through.
One sitting?
Yeah, so I beat Resident Evil 1 and Metal Gear 1 without saving.
Oh my god!
So when you get to Psycho Mantis, he doesn't say anything.
Yeah,
like I didn't know about all that stuff.
Because you won't read your. Yeah, that's the one thing.
And mind you, I wasn't like super great at games. I just walk through it and just stress my way through it. But
my brother-in-law had we were playing Metal Gear, and there's the part at the end of the first disc where you have to switch the discs to the second one. And he had one of the launch PlayStation 1s, and those ones, once you hit the open button, it resets the console. Oh. It doesn't keep this thing running. So the whole thing is you need to open the game, switch the discs out, close it, and then it repicks it back up. But if it resets it, it wouldn't let us progress from disc 1 to disc 2. Oh. Because the thing is, you can only save right at the end. So he bought Metal Gear Solid and everything, was trying to play it, and we couldn't get it. So he had to actually go back out after, and he had the PlayStation for a couple years now or whatever, but he had to actually trade his PlayStation in and buy a brand new one just so he can beat Metal Gear Solid 1 because of that.
Yeah, and then that's just a worst gaming nightmare memory, whatever the hell we're talking about. Like, just not having a memory card for those few years was
that's rough.
Awful. And for some reason, I didn't think about needing one too much for a little while, just because, I went from NES to Genesis to PS1, right? But now, like I was saying, I've been playing Mass Effect. Like, I save, there's 30 save slots you can use. I save, every minute.